as far as the injuries go, Okafor has the hamstring strain. He won't practice today. Saunders won't practice today with the elbow. And then Ward won't practice today, but is making progress. So we'll just have to see how that goes. Look forward to that challenge of playing the Chargers. Anthony Lynn and his staff do a great job of coaching, and their players obviously play aggressive and hard. They've always had good schemes against us, very consistent and very solid. So anyways, with that, time's yours.
Let's go to Herbie. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach, good morning.
Hi, Herbie.
Hey, how accurate is that report that Saunders is expected to miss up to a month, and is he a candidate for the short-term 3-week injured reserve?
Yeah, we gotta just see with him, Herbie. We try not to put the time limits on him, on any of the guys, and surely don't talk about him. But we'll just see how he progresses here. He's actually feeling pretty good today, but we'll see how it goes.
Go to Sam Mellinger. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy. I was just curious, especially in short yardage situations with Edwards-Helaire and some of that physicality up front that you were talking about the other day. I'm just wondering if you feel as a play caller you just have more options, that there's more different things you can do in those situations.
Well, listen, we've been blessed with good backs, so we've been fortunate there. So, listen, I don't want to take anything away from the kid because he's an exciting player. That's a little bit of a loaded question how I answer that. But I would tell you that he's got flexibility is what he has, and that part's a positive for him. He can run, he can catch, he can do all the things he needs to do. And it doesn't really matter it doesn't really matter the down and distance for you.
Go to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Coach, Joey Bosa signed the extension in the offseason, and this past week he looked like the best player on the field for the Chargers. How much attention does he command, and what are some of those conversations like with Andy Heck and that crew?
Yeah, well, listen, we respect the heck out of him, and no pun intended, and 54 is not bad either. He's been doing it a long time, and he doesn't look like he's slowed down at all. Yeah, they've added some new additions. With some young guys that are in their second year and 99 and so on. And their inside technique, Jones just keeps getting better and better every year he has a chance to play. So and then they brought in Lendl, who is a big human being in there and hard to move. So they're fully loaded up front. They have a great scheme, and then they've got real good players. And so, and listen, Bosa's, he's one of the best in the National Football League.
Go to Karen Kornacki. Go ahead, Karen.
Hi, Coach.
Hi, Karen.
How different are they without Phillip Rivers?
Well, Tyrod, I have a ton of respect for him. I had a chance to coach him in the Pro Bowl, and I sure liked him, and he's got a real good feel for things. So Phillip had a great career there. I mean, phenomenal career there. And but again, they're on to this new thing, and he does things that Phillip can't do, and Phillip, does things that maybe aren't Tyrod's best thing. But I know he's a heck of a quarterback, and he can do a lot of things with the football. Most of all, he's smart, and he has a good arm.
Go to Blair Kirchhoff. Go ahead, Blair.
Andy, I think we're going to talk to L'Jarius Snead a little while. Just how about breaking down his first game as an NFL player?
Yeah, so I think I was asked that the other day, but he did some real good things. He'll be tested this week. They've got good big wide receivers and physical kids, and be another look for him. So they'll have to adjust to. Every week will be great for him as he goes. But for your first time out, heck, he had an interception and made some nice plays on the ball, and I'd say it was a positive performance. And he'll learn that every week you've got to do that. So he's got to make sure he prepares himself right this week, just like he did for the Texans, and then he'll have to do it the next week, and that's how it works here. So all that's an adjustment period for him as he gets used to that.
Go to Sarin Petro. Go ahead, Sarin.
Coach, I'm curious, how important is it that you just talked about Tyrod Taylor, just kind of a follow-up to him, that a coach have a quarterback that plays his style, right? I mean, I know your job is to morph to whoever you have, but every coach kind of has their core fundamental philosophies. And Anthony Lynn, this seems like, and we got a little glimpse under the covers, right, with the Hard Knock series and kind of how he worked with him. This seems to be like a good fit for him. How important is that for coach and for the quarterback to be a reflection of what the coach wants his team to be?
Yeah, I think Anthony's probably enjoying working with him. He's smart and he's, he understands the offense he's in, and you're not going to find any blips in his ability to prepare for a game. So all those things that a coach likes, I think Tyrod gives them. And I know Anthony, I'm sure he likes, I'm not going to speak for him, but I'm sure that he, that he likes him.
Go to Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Coach, there's a couple of new roster wrinkles this year with the ability to protect up to 4 practice squad players a week and then to be able to bring up 2 practice squad players on game day if you need them. Curious, what's the organization's philosophy between you and Brad as far as whether you will protect guys each week and how many? And with protecting Braxton Hoyt this week, could that be an indication that you might be considering having him up this weekend?
Well, you just make sure that you cover all the bases, and Brett does a good job with that. I'd let him take care of all that. So, but I mean, we'll use it the way we feel like we need it. It might not be the same as everybody else, but But Brett's he'll have a good feel on who and when to use that.
Looks like we've got 3 more hands up. We'll go Darren, Steve, and then Sarin to close it out. Go ahead, Darren.
Darren, I think your sound.
Yeah, thank you. Coach, a couple of things. Obviously, on last Thursday, nobody's really talked about it, but you all only had 1 penalty, and I believe that was a false start penalty. No training camp, lack of training camp and lack of preseason games. What do you speak to the fact that you only had that 1 penalty? And then second, obviously, Troy Vincent sent down the memo about the mask. Have you figured out what you want to do this Sunday?
Well, my mask wasn't all that successful, but I think I've got it under control. So I'll keep that on. Then the coaches, it's been made. The point of emphasis has been made, and we'll just make sure, not that it wasn't before, but we just got to make sure we keep those covered. Sometimes it's hard to hear in the microphone, so we got to work through that, in particular when you're talking to the players in the headset. But other than that, tell me your first part. What did you want at the first part of that?
No, game number 1, you all.
Yeah, the penalties.
Yeah.
Yeah, so listen, I thought the guys, they did a nice job focusing in, and Pat did a good job of moving the snap count around, and we were able to keep ourselves on side, not shoot ourselves in the foot. But I would tell you, the whole team did a nice job just with the penalty situation, and you've got to do that. You got to keep a focus on that, and it'll be no more important than this week. I mean, they've got good football players, and so you got to stay disciplined the best you can.
Let's go Steve and then Sarin. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Coach. Listening to some of the coaches around the league talk about their experience from week 1 and playing in an empty stadium, I'm just wondering, because they all talked about the communication aspect and then the opponents being able to hear everything, even with crowd noise being piped in. What will your preparation look like going into this week for LA?
Yeah, so you can. I mean, you can hear it on the TV even. You listen and you can hear people talking and so on. So it's important that you control your the sound that you're sending in the huddle in particular, both huddles, and but at the same time make sure that you're communicating with the players. So they don't always know your terminology as you go, but you got to still make sure that you're not so loud that the other group hears you call a play. So we're aware of that. It's probably similar to practice and how you go about doing that.
Let's go to Sarin to close it out. Go ahead, Sarin.
Coach, I know I've asked you a number of questions about 4th down in the past. You had one in this game. I'm curious, as you go back and reflect, when you win as decisively as you guys did and were in control for so long in the game, it maybe gets lost in the shuffle, but that was a decision you made on your side of the field early in the game and trailing. Can you just expand upon what what the conversation was and why that was the right time to go for it?
Yeah, well, listen, that's one that could go either way, Sarin, and you know that. So you don't get it, then you don't look so good. But I just felt like we needed to do that there, and I thought we had a good play, and you know, so we ended up doing it. I'm not going to tell you that we do that every week, but you know, we're going to try to stay as aggressive as we can on fourth downs. You know, we've been pretty good at that over the years, and but anyways, I just felt that was a subjective decision on my part, right or wrong. But I thought it was if you talk to stat people, analytics people, they tell you it's the right thing. If you talk, you know, you talk to other people, they might tell you something different. But I just felt in my gut that that was the right thing to do.